6 a.m. on your Tuesday. Right now on KPX 5 News at 6, a wildfire in Yosemite. You've heard about it. It continues to rage as fire crews face rare and dangerous new challenges there. But the cause behind it, we are starting to get some answers.
And Amanda, the state's positivity rate for COVID increases again. The new strain causing concern among health officials.
We're going to be breaking down air quality index, king tides, and this gradual cooling trend coming up in your full forecast in just a little bit.
And as you get ready to hit the roadways, we've got some foggy freeways, bridges to be exact. We'll get a look at those travel times as you work your way across the Golden Gate, and we'll get a live look at the Bay Bridge coming up.
And happening today in San Francisco, Supervisor Rafael Mandelman and community leaders are planning an event outside of City Hall. They plan to call on the CDC and the Department of Health and Human Services to lead what they call a more aggressive monkeypox vaccination campaign for at-risk populations. Meantime, over 4,000 Californians are hospitalized with coronavirus this morning. That's the highest number since February when we were coming out of the Omicron surge. But for perspective, it's still far below the peaks we saw the past 2 Januaries. Meanwhile, the state's test positivity average is nearing 17%. The all-time high was 22.5% back in January. And this morning, a new variant driving a surge in India now turning up right here in the Bay Area. BA.275 may be more contagious, but UCSF infectious disease specialist Dr. Peter Chin Hong is hoping that the vaccine still protects against serious illness.
The silver lining, it probably is going to perform the same way in terms of if you're vaccinated and boosted, your inside immune cells, your memory B cells and T cells will kick the enemy out, even if the front guards have cataracts on their eyes.
Now, the problem is the variant hasn't stopped mutating yet, and there are no indications that it will anytime soon. Jessica. Gianna, on to the fire watch now. The battle continues to save Yosemite National Park's ancient sequoias. Our Andrea Borba found out fire crews are now facing another danger far above the flames.
Burning dangerously close to the...
That was Andrea Borba reporting. Now, the professor says while conditions are still hot and dry, the winds are low, which is one of the reasons the smoke plume from the fire is so tall and so intense, causing extreme updrafting. Amanda.
And NASA will release the full set of new images at 7:30 this morning.
Oh,
yeah.
How cool.
As we're all waking up.
Yeah,
That is just fascinating, too.
It is. It definitely is. I think that's a really cool story as well. So 7:30 this morning. We'll see them.
We'll be waiting.
I think we'll all be in awe because when you see those images, doesn't it just kind of take your breath away?
Yeah, incredible.
It does. Makes you realize how small you are.
Exactly.
That part.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. All right, coming up in Morning Mix, I'll show you the piece a talented young artist created to win a contest put on by Google.
And also this morning, a Bay Area artist using her brush to paint a more inclusive look for an East Bay neighborhood. The message from the muralist coming up.
And don't forget to join us for our new 7 a.m. newscast streaming live on CBS News Bay Area. You can find us on Pluto TV, channel 1021, and on any platform using the free CBS News app.
On to the Bay Area beat this morning. A group of San Francisco organizers turned in more than 17,000 signatures demanding parts of the Great Highway and JFK Drive to reopen. Parts of the roads closed during the pandemic to encourage social distancing. Earlier this year, though, the Board of Supervisors voted to keep the roads closed. The group Access for All is fighting that decision, saying it has forced traffic onto residential streets and causes accessibility issues. Also happening in San Francisco, Mayor London Breed is set to attend the grand opening of Jazzy Collins Apartments, which will offer 96 new homes to previously homeless adults referred to by the county. All the units in this permanent housing development will include a private bathroom with a kitchenette and even some furniture, too. The building also includes an on-site resident service suite and outdoor courtyard. And in the East Bay, there's a push to paint a new portrait in an Oakland neighborhood. This morning, I want to introduce you to a muralist in Montclair dedicated to transforming a blank canvas into a multicultural masterpiece.
Opening a can of paint also opens possibilities for Zoe Boston. With every brushstroke she creates.
I feel like art is the expression of like anything creative.
Painting pictures and making murals that move your mind.
Taking the visions you have inside and you're able to express them on canvas, able to portray messages and explain things to people.
For as long as Zoe can remember, she's been a creative, an artist, doing what she can to uplift.
So I've noticed a lot more smiles when the people come out here. It's a lot brighter out here now. Like, literally I'm painting life, bringing life into a space.
This mural she's named Natural Praise, and it doesn't take long to see why. It's on the backside of Crewfit, a family-owned gym in Montclair, but it's more than just a canvas, it's a community space. Zoe started working on this mural in June. She hopes her work helps bridge the gap, making Montclair more inclusive for all people in an area of Oakland that's typically not diverse.
I envision hopefully murals everywhere. More color, more life, more vibrancy, more diversity in Montclair.
So while Zoe finishes this special piece, planned to be done in August, she hopes every blend of color on this mural is also reflective of every person who comes by and takes it all in.
I want them to feel at peace and have a place to kind of reflect and just take things in.
So obviously this project is more than just an amazing mural. Organizers want to inspire other small businesses in that area to take on similar initiatives. The whole goal here is to get more emerging Black artists and their work on display. And that's a look at your Bay Area beat this morning. Jess.
All right, here we go. Time now for the morning mix on this. Is it Tuesday?
Yes.
Tuesday. All right.
Thank goodness, not Monday.
Yes.
Right.
Monday is in the rearview mirror. Okay, this is a very cool story. Fremont student Louisa Oswan has won California's 14th annual Doodle for Google contest. Here's the drawing Oswan created for the art competition. Look at that.
Aww.
I love it. I know, all the fruit-inspired picture, Google sign there. That is really cool. The contest is open to students in grades K through 12 and calls for students to create their own Google Doodle for a chance at scholarships and tech equipment for their schools. Not to mention, the winner will be featured on Google.com and seen by billions of people.
Oh my goodness.
Oswan will now compete with 53 other winners for the grand prize. Voting ends today.
That is amazing work there.
It is so creative.
I love that it looks like Google too.
Yes.
You don't notice it at
Yes.
first, and then when you actually look at it, wow.
That makes me feel guilty though, because it's all like fruits and veggies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't had that in a while. So
Well, maybe
thanks
that's
for
good.
putting me on a guilt trip.
She's going to inspire billions of people to
Yes.
eat more fruits and veggies and have a balanced diet. No, it's very cool. And it's so subtly done. You recognize that.
I'm excited to see it online.
Me too.
I hope she
awesome.
wins the top competition when she competes with the others.
We are sending you good vibes.
Yes.
Hopefully that happens too.
With that picture, you got it.
Yep.
Okay, this is an amazing story. 3 teenage boys from Central California are being called heroes. This after rescuing a family in danger. They saw smoke coming from a neighbor's burning home in Modesto, jumped into action to wake up the family, and one by one, the boys led the family members out of the burning house. They said even though they were very scared, they knew they had to act fast. And since some of the rescued children didn't have any clothes on, the boys actually gave them the shirts off their backs. Wow, just another show of their bravery and kindness. And I mean, just being at the right place at the right time to see that happening. That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm glad they were there. You know what I mean? Like if they weren't there, the story would be completely different.
Yeah, very
Oh
scary.
my goodness. Kudos to those boys.
Takes a lot of bravery to do
Yes.
something like that. So
Yeah.
good job, guys. Okay, listen to this. Jane Goodall is probably the world's top expert on chimpanzees. And today, Barbie unveiled a new doll honoring her and her favorite chimp. The toy maker created the new doll as part of its Inspiring Women's series, nodding to Goodall's groundbreaking studies and conservation efforts. She's dressed in a khaki shirt and shorts and holding a notebook. Goodall's doll is made entirely from ocean-bound plastics, and by her side is David Graybeard, which is a replica of the first chimpanzee to ever trust her. That's so cool.
That sign right there said inspiring women.
Yeah,
That
most-
right there is, I think that pretty much nails it, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very cool.
No, very neat. And they actually have a few dolls in this line too. It's the Eco Leadership Team dolls. So definitely neat to see because the Barbies we grew up with
So
were all
different.
fashion and all
Yeah.
this, which were lovely. I love my Barbie dolls, but so awesome. And especially because little girls are going to see that.
Yep.
Yeah, and they'll see themselves in
That-
that, right?
yeah,
to
yeah.
find that inspiration.
Think
to
about
maybe-
different jobs and
exactly.
things you can do. Very
exactly.
cool.
I love it.
We can do it all, ladies.
I will be ordering one of those for my niece.
Oh, I love that.
Happening today, the January 6th committee will hold another hearing, this time focusing on possible connections between the Trump White House and far-right extremist groups that helped lead the attack on the Capitol. CBS reporter Bradley Blackburn has the preview. And you can watch the hearing right here on KPIX5 and streaming on CBS News Bay Area. That starts at 10 o'clock this morning. This morning, the Biden administration is ordering hospitals to provide abortion services if a mother's life is at risk. The Department of Health and Human Services says a federal law on emergency treatment overrides state legislation banning abortions. And the debate over the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade has reignited over whether a fetus is a person. A pregnant woman in Texas is fighting a traffic ticket after claiming her unborn baby should count as a person when she's driving in the carpool lane. The woman was 34 weeks pregnant when she was pulled over and told the officer her fetus counts as a passenger. But the officer was not buying it and still gave her a nearly $300 ticket for a carpool lane violation.
One law's saying that it's a baby, and now he's telling me that this baby that's jabbing my ribs is not a baby. Why can't it all make sense? If there's a pro-women category, that's my stance.
Now, at 36 weeks, she has hired an attorney and has a court date later this month. This morning, a suspect is under arrest for a third time in connection with the decades-old murder of a Bay Area tech worker. Our Betty Yu reports why Mountain View police are confident this cold case is closed. Also coming up, a suspect under arrest for a third time in a decades-old Bay Area cold case. Why police say they're confident the case is finally closed. Right after our show, stick around for CBS Mornings. Gayle King, Tony Dokoupil, and Nate Burleson. And we'll bring you the biggest headlines of the day. CBS Mornings start at 7 o'clock. And now let's go live right now to the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. Traffic moving smoothly. Of course, when we come back, we'll check with weather and traffic. Stay with us. Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Indiana.
Go back to Indiana.
You should know about this. You were there before.
I moved back to California for a reason. It makes sense why it's affordable. No shame on Indiana.
Those floors in that house.
Did you see the laundry room?
Listen.
Yes.
That would be so
I'm all
great.
for it.
We'll see you at 7 a.m.